Hjertelig velkommen til et nytt program her på Israelkanalen. Akkurat nå så befinner jeg meg i Haifa, nærmere bestemt i Tel Aviv Street, og vi skal besøke en forsamling her som heter Shavei Zion, og en pastor som heter Leon Mazin, så følg med her.
Seven years of hard but fruitful work are behind us. Today, more than 120 students are enrolled in the music and arts school Keshet Lilim, which means in Hebrew, Rainbow of Sounds, that was founded by Shavei Zion Return to Zion Ministry. 80% of the students are children of new immigrants who are not able to pay for a musical education. That is no longer an obstacle thanks to people who have believed in and supported this project. It is so good to see these children being able to put their free time to good use here in Keshet Lilim, Rainbow of Sounds, revealing their potential. Here they have made new friends, discovered new possibilities, begun to develop their talents, and put them to use in concerts and other events. The most recent concert was on Hanukkah and was held for a group of Holocaust survivors. It was a very touching and beautiful event. During the Hanukkah holiday, our Music of Art School and Shavei Zion congregation held for 5 days activities for children of new immigrants. Volunteers from our congregational youth group and Keshet Lilim teachers took part in it. The closing event of the camp was a talent show in which the children performed for their parents. The children's performance brought much joy to their parents. We are grateful to the Lord for His faithfulness, help, and for being ever present for these past 7 years. This is a momentous time for investing in the future generation and helping them settle in a new country. Friends, please join us in this project with your prayers and financial support.
Heartily welcome to this program, Leon.
Thank you very much.
What we just saw here is quite unusual for a church to start with the music education. Can you explain a little bit about that?
First of all, I will fix a little bit. We almost never use word church for our congregations because church in Jewish ears is something not really our. So we usually use congregation,
Yes.
messianic congregation. Even some people radically use messianic synagogue. But yes, it's not usual, but we felt very much that for us to show to our people not only our religious faith, but also what inside of us. So many projects was started with this reason, to show activity that we want bless community around of us. And music school main idea it was to protect kids from poor families from street. So slowly it's developed to really school. Now more than 100 kids study music, about 20 kids study painting, some people study chess and different things. And we see how kind of cultural activity but under umbrella of messianic congregation, work very well and bless them. And also it gives us possibility to show us, ourselves, as we Israeli, totally Israeli, even that majority of us come from former Soviet Union or from different places, but we Israeli, this is our land, faith specifically in us. This is what is important. And actually this is New Testament major idea, not words but deeds. This is what we try to do.
Yes, because you haven't been living in Israel all your life.
Yeah, I came here, I was about 22 years old, so I live here about 28 years.
Coming from?
Former Soviet Union. I was born in Belarus, and I studied in Latvia in Riga. I supposed to be a computer engineer, but life changed directions, so after we came here, I was working, secular work, of course, and slowly I was deeper and deeper interested in idea, faith, Bible, study, Torah, New Testament, and in 2001 we started what it's called today Shavei Zion Congregation and Ministry. It's Return to Zion, and this is actually explain about us. We come back, returning to Zion, promise, and this is name of our ministry and congregation.
Yes, because you returned to Sion
Yeah.
from Belarus back in 1990.
Yeah.
And what led you to come here at that time?
Oh, it was a little bit crazy experience. You know, in end of 80s, that former Soviet Union started to collapse, and it's actually, you can read history, many people come to faith, to God in this time, but also something happened with Jewish population, and all of us was kind of infected with idea we should go back. And today people try to explain this experience as something natural, country collapsing, so some economical interest, but it's not was this. Many people spoke, we won't go back to Canada or leave to our United States, but after all of us find ourselves here in land of Israel. So I think it was God's hand that touched a huge number of people. We came to Israel during days that about 5,000 Russian-speaking Jews was coming every day to Israel. It was like a huge, crazy time, but God did this miracle, and small country, and in this time Israel was small and poor country, except 1 million immigrants in only 3, 4, 5 years. So we product of this.
So you were a believer in Yeshua already in Belarus?
Let's tell, no. I grew in secular family, and actually it was atheistic country, and it was kind of forbidden to believe in God. And I studied in university in Latvia, in Riga. One of our subjects that we studied was atheism. It's like, if you want to be engineer, you should be also atheist. Otherwise, you cannot be engineer. It was a crazy idea. But during this time, I started to search. But my really stand up as messianic believer happened here in land of Israel, that I recognize that for Jewish person to believe in Yeshua, Jesus, it's not crazy, it's not to betray my nation, because some people think this way.
Yeah.
If you Jew, you cannot believe in Jesus. But here I recognize in Bible that Yeshua came first of all for Jewish people, and all these things it's lie. And also some people in Christian world don't understand this. They think that a church exchange Israel. Some people here in land of Israel don't understand this, and they tell, if you Jew, you cannot believe in Jesus. But Jesus actually enlarge, expand our way to understand God, His Father.
Okay, so you came to the belief in Christ here in Israel, and then your study led you to start this congregation. And what is the vision of?
Okay, it's not was to jump from believer to start congregation. Actually, before we start congregation, it took about 11 years. And I was part of other congregation in Tel Aviv area, Beit Emmanuel, and after I was part of Keilat Carmel, and after Tents of Mercy, and I was also assistant pastor for many years with one other man. But in 2001 we felt that we want to start something in Haifa, that it should be Jewish, it should be Yeshua orientated, but also supposed to be with very deep roots with Jewish belief. So, for example, I show you Torah service, and we have Torah scrolls. This is part of our service. So for us, it's kind of to restore faith of 2,000 years ago. How it was, nobody knows exactly. We can read something in Book of Acts, we can see some synagogue service, we can read some historical book. Nobody understands exactly how it was, but definitely Israel faith in Creator, faith in His Son Yeshua, Torah, some traditions, some rules, feasts of Israel, Shabbat, kosher life, what God called to Jewish people to do, with some biggest or smaller proportion. This is our vision.
Mm-hmm. So you are located in the center of Haifa.
Yeah.
Almost. It's a very nice neighborhood here. How did you get this building? Because it looks very good and purposeful for your ministry.
Okay, it also was not a short way. As we started in 2001, we ran small place, very small place, and actually I remember as owners of this place received phone call from some people who not like messianic movement, and after they asked from us to leave this place. And it was at least 3 times like this. So we was moving from place to place, from place to place, and after we located in some neighborhood for other 7 years, and God just put inside of us strong desire we should have our own place, that we not be depend on wish or spirit condition of our owner. So God just did this miracle, and what you see here, it belonged to our ministry, and was God's hand on us.
Mm-hmm. So how many people come to this congregation on a
Shabbat service?
Yes.
Shabbat service, we have about 120, 140 adults. In congregation, usually about 60 kids. We have not big, but probably 15 people use group. I mean use, what it's used. For me today, as I'm almost 50, so it's from 20 to 25 to 27. And we have normative congregation from youngs to elder people. So this is our life. We also have home groups at homes, some activity, but also, as you see here, we have ministry. We have music school. We have soup kitchens. We really work with Holocaust survivors, with needy people, and also we have some educational programs with soldiers, with music, like we have theological school. It's called Haifa Theological Institute. Specifically, it's mostly for Russian-speaking people, for people who make first steps in land, study culture, study language. So this is how we operate.
And when you have your Shabbat service, what language do you run it in?
Main language is Hebrew, but also from BIM we translate to Russian, because some elder people can't just study Hebrew, but majority of our kids, they born here. So for them it's common language, it's Hebrew. So everything go in Hebrew with Russian translation, and also in earphones we have English or German.
For visitors?
For visitors,
yes,
yeah.
Okay. You're talking about the soup kitchen. Tell me a little bit more about how that is operated.
Okay. 2004 we started daughter congregation in Nazareth Elite. It's Jewish city up in Nazareth, it's called. And very soon we see that a lot of neighborhood, it's really kind of poor. So God just opened for us door, and inside of our building we just open some dry food, and also we give some ready meals. And after this, very soon in 2008, friends from outside of country, from Holland, they come and tell, look, probably it's a good idea to do something like this in Haifa. So in our neighborhood, from our location here, we rent small shop, and we prepare food, and also we give dry food. So about 200 families weekly receive food packages. We work also with social workers from City Hall. Sometimes they direct to us people, but usually we have our own system. People bring some paper, so we work. It's not everybody who want to eat just come to eat, but we see that person need, and we check this, and also every 6 months we recheck if person still need or situation changes.
So when you do this work, what benefit is it for the church to do that? Is there any?
Nothing. In Israel, it's forbidden to give humanitarian aid and in same time to preach, because this is kind of manipulation. And I personally, I like this law, because it also protect my kids, that some person with his ideas can come and just give him some ice cream and preach him. So it's forbidden to preach, to share some religious ideas, and also with this to give some humanitarian aid. So Bible teaches actually mercy for mercy. Mercy because your heart full of love. So this is what it's usually push us to do this. So we bless people. Sometimes people really ask, why you give us? So we tell, because we believe that it's our land and we supposed according of Torah law, according of New Testament commandments to help to needies. So sometimes they ask, what it mean? So you believers, you Christians or you Orthodox Jews? And we tell, no, we're not Christians and we're not Orthodox Jews, we're Messianic Jews. Of course, Israel, it's our brothers. Of course, people from outside of Israel who believe in God of Israel through Jesus, through Yeshua, our brothers, but we Messianic Jews, and we're happy to help you. But this food provided by Christians, because they contribute money, they won't bless you, they believe in our state, and they believe that we should allow to needy people to eat. Also, we ask some contribution from our congregation to help to these people, but majority of money and supply come from outside, and we just totally tell, this is from Christians. They love you and they want to bless you.
So you are building a bridge between the congregation, the believers' congregation, and the Jewish community.
We try. Probably it's too big word to build bridge.
Yeah.
We put seeds. I think God create all these bridges, but definitely it should be bridge between also church, also between Israel, also between Messianic community, Israeli people and Christian brothers and sisters around the world.
So what does the city hall, the community in Haifa, what is their opinion about you?
Okay, if I come back 2008, they look on us a little bit like, other mission activity, but after they saw that we try to stay on law position and we not preach them during that we give them some humanitarian aid, they just became quiet. So they even sent to us people that they need help. We will not receive any assistance from Haifa City Hall, nothing. We just bless needy people. So we kind of parallel organizations that work in same directions that some humanitarian projects of city of Haifa.
And you also mentioned helping Holocaust victims.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that work that you do.
This was a little bit spontaneous started work. Also, it was about 2007. Somebody introduced me with one lady that she head of Union of Holocaust survivors, people who was in camps, in ghetto. And this is usually very old people. My parents from same age. My parents already died. And they was also in their in childhood under all this environment of Second World War. So this community disappeared very quickly. So we organize for them events, 4 or 5 times in a year. We bring them here, concert, food, nice communication. We try to bless them. This is what we can do.
So how many Holocaust survivors are still living here?
We start in 2007, and groups that we was working with them, it was about 250 people. Today, I don't think it's more than 70. So it's just really go down quickly. I cannot give you all amounts of people, how many people still in life, but all these people who was children during Holocaust, now they're 85, 83 years old, yes. Something like this.
Yeah. So for those, you also used the music school with the children there to arrange concerts for them?
Yeah, I think it's work two directions, because if you study music, you always need some place to show how you succeed. So we provide to this group to serve to other group, and it's also bless both groups. So this is mostly smart regulation. It's not something super spiritual, but it's blessing for both groups.
Okay. Do you have any more plans to expand the church in other directions?
Look, I'm thankful to God that our team very creative. So also me, also our team, we see niche opportunities. So we work with soldiers, we work in different places, and we try to do our work best way. So if God will open before us something extra, we will pray and we will think how we can go inside of this, or probably this for some other congregation. Thanks God, it's many believers now in Haifa, and believer community just growing.
Because the situation for believers in Israel hasn't been always as easy as it is today. I remember back in the beginning of the 2000s, it was very hard to make interviews with believers because they were afraid to be on video and so forth. But today I see much stronger boldness amongst the Messianic believers. What is your opinion about that?
This is true. I remember that we started in 2001. Even was posters around of congregation, don't speak with these people because a danger, blah, blah, blah. But I think now people of Israel see that messianics, they live like Israeli, they respect Israeli style of life, they serve in army, they work in different places, they try to be good citizens. So I think God bless messianic community in all Israel. Some places still reaction in some tough places, but I think God help us to establish our status quo. And as church see in messianic movement something that it's a little bit different from church way, but brothers, I think many secular Jewish people recognize that messianics, it's also Jewish. We're still not in the same plate with Orthodox Judaism. They're really, sometimes really tough against us, but slowly, I think God should protect us.
It's softening up.
Yeah.
I heard about a scripture about the dry bones in Ezekiel, coming to life. That this person meant it was the body of believers in Israel, getting together and raising up. Yes, it's very interesting. What you do for the young kids in the army? Can you tell me a little bit of that?
Yeah, but probably a few words about restoration. Bible at least 50 times more speak about to restore Zion with different words. Sometimes pray for peace for Jerusalem, sometimes restore Zion, sometimes Aliyah, bring people back. Many believers even not understand subject, but restoration of Zion, it's kind of a step that God want to do in world that will affect world. It's happened here, but it will affect world. And restoration of Zion is like three general steps. It's land and people, Aliyah, economy. It's second, it's our status quo, because we was assimilated inside of nations. So now we come back to our Jewishness and try to study what is it. But number three, it's to be believers in God through Yeshua, like it was 2,000 years ago. And we read in Book of Exodus, community was growing. So all the things God do it. And it's happened in front of our eyes. So this is about dry bones. It's restoring, and this has happened. And also we try to touch youngs. So actually we invite young people who finish Israeli army, but they believers. And some of them who was went through experience and break down their beliefs, their faith. We invite them, and actually it's God opened door in Norway, in your country, and people really bless us with heart and with a lot of acts. So we take 12, 15 people. In this August we will take 24 people to Norway, and all these people in age between 21 to 24 after Israeli army, believers or probably weak believers. And in Norway we do with them discipleship program, also hiking, also seasides, also to be in touch, interact with Norway youngs, and we try to restore them, to bring them back after renewed and also encouraged to go back to their congregations. They're not only from our congregations, from different places of Israel, and go back and serve in their congregations to God, to see how God good and to show how God good to other people.
We are going to look into that Eagle project in another program. Our time is up, Leon. It was very nice to have you on the program. Thank you very much, and God bless you and the work of your congregation here in Israel.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me time, and God bless all Norwegian believers who are interested in Israel. Thank you very much.
Og til dere seere så vil jeg bare si tusen takk for at dere har fulgt oss på dette programmet, og velkommen igjen neste uke til samme tid.